Hi everyone. We are meeting today to solve a case study in the organization behavior subject. It is basically based on the dynamics of the individual behavior. So I'll just share the screen and show you the PDF where the case study is so that you can also read the background of the case study, of the case rather. I hope you can see the screen now. Now, if you talk about the case study, of course, we have already discussed about the individual, behavior dynamics. Just supporting that, just to make you better understand about it, have developed the understanding about it. I just wanted to discuss the case also. I just wanted to solve the case, right? So in organization behavior, understanding the dynamics of individual behavior is crucial, right? So it is basically fostering the productivity and the work environment, right? So we'll try to explore that. And if you talk about the case of XYZ Corporation, just understand the background of this organization. XYZ Corporation is basically mid-sized tech company, right? And has been facing significant challenges in managing individual behavior, right, within the organization. So the company has diverse workflow force with varying level of experience, skills, and cultural backgrounds, right? So despite having strong market position, right, you know, and innovative products rather, uh, they were struggling with the internal conflicts, low morale, and the high turnover rates, or you can say the attrition rate, right? So attrition basically is the right word for it. So if you talk about the key players, there are three players which you can talk about. First is the senior developer, which is named as Mr. A. There is Miss B, who has just joined the organization, right? And she is the project manager. Mr. A is highly experienced and highly skilled also, and but often resistant to new ideas. If you talk about and has also got the tendency to work in isolate. So basically, he is not the collaborator, or he is not the team player, or basically he avoids the team, working in the team. Or Miss B is newly joined, right? And she is basically, struggling to gain the acceptance and respect from the more experienced team members like Mr. A. Okay. And there is a person who is in HR, Mr. C, and he is responsible for addressing the interpersonal conflicts and fostering a positive work environment, right? And faces difficulties in implementing effective conflict resolution. So, you know, if you talk about the dynamics of individual behavior, Mr. A, how, what is the behavior, Mr. A's behavior? So A is basically characterized by the resistance to change and, preference for the working independently. So, this can be attributed to several factors like personality trait. Mr. A exhibits traits of introversion and high consciousness, like in the other video I had explained it about. And he values precision and the precision and the routine, which makes him wary of new approaches, right? Past experience, of course, is important. To talk about, having spent over a decade in the industry, Mr. A has developed a fixed mindset about the right way of doing the things. So he is very much hesitant to adapt the new innovative ways, right? And previous negative experience with the failed project, have made it, skeptical about the new methods. Job satisfaction, he is not so very satisfied with the, job, where he's having low satisfaction there, right? Due to perceived lack of recognition and support from the management. Now, recognition and support, if you see, we had already discussed in the other video when we were talking about the motivation theories, right? Now, you talk about Ms. B behavior. She is, of course, new to the organization. She is highly enthusiastic and drive to innovative new things, right? But also frustrated due to lack of acceptance, right? So if you talk about the personality trait, Miss B is highly extrovert, open to new opportunities and the experiences, right? You talk about, being new, Miss B is still adapting. Adaptability is there. She is trying to adapt the new uh, culture, right? And leadership, if you talk about transformational leadership style, which emphasizes change and innovation, clashes with the existing transactional culture that value stability and routine, right? So now, what is the impact on the organization and the performance of this thing? Of course, it is very clear that internal conflict is there, right? Because of the Mr. A and Mr. B, they are having the conflict, right? When conflict is there, of course, lack of cohesiveness is there. So there will not be teamwork. And of course, automatically organization is going to suffer, right? So other team member also will get divided, right, into two parts because of this conflict. Somebody will go to Miss A, Mr. A, or somebody will support Miss B, or somebody will be neutral, right? So that's how this organization politics started, starts, like we had already discussed that conflict could be the source also, or conflict could be the end result of also in the office organization politics, right? At times, in this case, if you see, uh, conflict is basically the source of organization politics, where people got divided into three different parts, like somebody is with A, somebody is with B, and somebody is neutral, right? This is because of the internal conflict. When you talk about the low morale and the productivity, of course, when conflict is there, office environment, organization environment becomes very, very toxic, right? So people start, getting, or rather, I would say, wasting time in the different gossips and other things, right? Office, organization, politics, and they start communicating with each other. Rather, I would say the grapevines will start, right? So in this, people actually start wasting their time. So low morale and productivity, of course, it impacts the productivity of the organization. So this is but obvious that we'll be having the low morale and the productivity, right? So productivity suffers. Then you talk about the high attrition rates, right? Of course, when people get frustrated, irritated with the organization culture, they don't want to work with the toxic environment. Like in the other video, I had clearly mentioned that up to certain extent, people will work there in the organization like for a year time or 2 year time. But after that, what will happen? They are going to find some organization where they will feel like comfortable, very comfortable, and the organization which can give them the conducive environment, right? So if they are getting the conducive environment, they will switch easy, right? So attrition rate will high. So what organization suffers in this because the talent, of course, goes out, right? As they are frustrated, they are talented, but they are frustrated, they just want to get into the work, but due to this toxic environment, their work is suffering, right? So in that ways, if you see, these people will switch the company very easily, right? And this is basically the organization's loss, right? So frustration and dissatisfaction lead to the higher attrition rate with the talented employee, right? They leave the organization, and the cost of recruiting and the training again to the new employee, of course, will be borne by the organization, right? As I told you, when we were talking about recruitment and selection is one of the important job of the manager, right? So it is very, very important to select the right candidate. Otherwise, what will happen? This is a big time, cost on the company, because you spend a lot of companies spend a lot of money on the employee. They first recruit them, and then after they put in a lot of money on the training and development, orientation, and all those induction, right? And then after other costs is also there involved till the time the organization employees working in the organization. So a lot of cost is involved, and when company employee leaves the company, of course, extra cost comes in because they need to recruit other people also, right? So attrition rate is always a negative connotation, right? If high attrition rate is always negative, right? So companies always, organization always would like to retain the employees, but at times it is not possible because of this kind of toxic environment which is there in the organization, right? So Let's talk about the solution part of it. What could be the solution if I ask you that if you are there in this situation, what you'll do? And let me tell you one thing very honestly. This kind of a kind of this kind of situation only I have also faced in my professional career, right? When I was working with the MNC like multinational company, which is I was in bank, right? And I was working, there, and then after I got promotion. So when I got promotion, I got transfer also. So I joined it to different state altogether, different city altogether, where I've been, I was unaware about the culture and the other things, right? How that people behave there, what is the kind of culture and the beliefs are there, right? Everything was new to me. Though I have been to that city for a couple of times, but it was just normal visit, right? Where I visited to different places. That's it, nothing else. As per work is concerned, I had never worked in that city, right? So when I got promotion and I got transfer, I of course shifted to different city, and then after I got the team also, right? The same situation, right? And when you talk about the team, that time I was very young. I was young fellow, and I got the position of head position like leadership role it was, right? And I got the team. So in the team, there were certain people who were of my age, but there were certain people who were like 20 years older to me or elder to me, right? Older to me. So, see, it becomes very, very tough when you are talking with the people who are 20 years older to you or 15 years older to you, and they have got more experience in the market, right? You are just like, if I talk about myself, it was a very new position, new thing for me. I just passed out, right? I had done my, uh, post graduation, and then after I started working, and it was like 2 3 years of experience only when I got the promotion, right? So it was it was a tough situation for me because I was quite young, right, that time, and people were having like more than 20 years of experience they were having, and they were there in my team. So now understand the situation. When you are going to lead, you want to get the work done through them, but they are very much reluctant. So what you'll do, they are not going to support you. And one more thing, when this kind of people are there, this kind of people there in the organization, and they are working, you know for long time from long time in that organization, and you have just joined, right? Of course, when I got transfer, it is like just joined, because in that city I was totally new, right? In that branch I was new. So, so these people normally have got the good hold on the people, right? So it becomes very tough to handle the human resource. So what you will do in that situation, this is very tough situation like this. Dynamics of individual behavior, right? And that is where, I started, thinking about what should I do. I was actually facing a lot of problem. I started facing a lot of problem because from the very first, day or first week, you can say I started facing problem from this particular fellow. But you cannot, you know, uh, be angry, or you cannot start punishing people, because if people are not there, you are zero, right? Without people, you are zero. You cannot do anything. Your support is the people. Your support is the human resource, right? So you are the leader only when there are the followers. If there are no followers, you are not the leader, right? So followers has to be there. So if somebody will start leaving the organization, they see they have got 20 years or 15 years of experience, they can get job anywhere because they reside in that particular area from past 40 years, right? 40, 45 years, 50 years, right? So people know these people, right? And they can easily get the job. So, but if they leave the job, you become the answerable to the management. That why? Because of you they are leaving the job. Why they are leaving the job? If all of a sudden three people resign just because you have joined like 10 days, 7 days, it has happened, or 15 days, what will you need to be, you need to answer this thing to the management, that what exactly it is happening. They were working in the organization from past 5 years. And now just because you have joined there, like 10, 15 days has happened and they have resigned, what is the matter? So management is going to listen to them also, because they are there in the organization from past 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, or 7 years, right? So, and they were perfectly working fine. But here the problem is that they have taken something in their mind that, this is a kid and he's going to lead me and all those kind of stuff, probably, right? So now what to do? So I clearly, understood that it is going to be a very tough game for me. If I really want to do something, I need to just sit back and relax, nothing else. First, in the very first instance, I need to just sit back and relax. I need not to say anything to anyone. I need to first understand how they are behaving, why they are behaving in that ways, right? And also I need to understand the culture and the beliefs of that particular city, right? How people react on different situations, right? And what kind of positive attitude or negative attitude, how many people are there, such people are there, right? With the positive and the negative attitude, right? So basically I need to analyze the situation as a whole, and for that I need to have thorough knowledge of this organization behavior. Need to talk about the motivation. You need motivation theories. You need to talk about the psychology. You need to understand. So all those things you need to understand before getting into the any decision or any action if you want to take, right? So what I did, I just calmly just sit down. I just thought that I'll sit down and relax. Nothing else I'll do. Let them do their job the way they are doing it. It's okay if at all, they are making certain mistakes. I'll just tell them very, in a polite way that they are making some mistake. This is what it is, and if they want, they will change it. But if they don't want, I will change it. So anyway, mistakes need to get corrected, right? But your action, you need to lead by, from the action, right? Lead by the actions, like we generally say in the leadership, right? So that was the thing. And then after, one thing which always I feel in the psychology, if you understand, people shout or people hesitate in doing something, or people, counter you, or, they always try to show you that or put you down. There is one thing which always I have found is true in that particular situation, and that is lack of confidence because of lack of recognition, right? People have not praised him properly in the past. People have not given the recognition in the past. Doesn't matter whatever the good work that fellow has done, right? But they have not done some good job, right? They have not got the recognition or the rewards or, the respect. Most of the time this happens, right? I have found this thing true almost always. So my first job is sit back, relax, let them do whatever they are doing it. If they are making certain mistake, I'll point it out. But if they will do it, it's okay. If they will not do it, I'll do it, right? So no pressure, right? I will not try to show, in other words, I'll not try to show that I am the branch manager. So I'll not try to show them, right? Clearly. Okay. So I'm these two things. And then after the third thing, respect and the recognition. This always works. See, I always say that one should, pay respect to the experience. If somebody is older, I am older to someone and someone will start respecting me because I am 20 years older to that fellow, it's good. I mean, that, it comes from the family values, because somebody is older to you, you are respected. That's fine. But more importantly, respect has to be given or paid to the experience, right? Experience has to get, experience should get the respect, right? That is very, very important, right? Family values, of course, people do respect because They have been taught in that ways and they have come from, good families. So it is there. So when I'm paying respect to that fellow, that is okay because he is older to me as a human being. I always pay respect that time, this time, in the future also, always. But when it comes to work, I need to, get the work done from this fellow who is actually negative about me, right? And negative about me because of no reasons. We are meeting first time, right? So what is the reason? So that answer comes from the psychology, right? That answer is basically that he has got certain things in the back of the mind and he has never probably got the recognition or the rewards or the respect in the past, right? So now from this thing, you can get the answer. And that was the third step which I did. And I started praising him not without any reasons, with reasons. Praising people with the reason is big time motivation, motivation for these people. So I started praising that fellow for his work only, past work, right? And he had done a good job. Of course, when a person is working in the organization from past 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, he must have done something good, undoubtedly, right? And because of that work, organization is in this position today, wherever the organization is. Are you getting my point? So that was the third step, and somehow I managed to, get the things done. And he also, started believing, and he was a good fellow, undoubtedly. He, these two, three people were, really good fellows. And of course, I have also learned a lot of things from their experience, right? So learning is always there, first of all, right? Learning is always there. It doesn't See, I have come from some college and then, done some PG degree, MBA and all those stuff. It is okay, it is fine, but experience matters, right? So doesn't matter whatever I have done in the past, is okay. But there is always a scope of learning. This is the biggest room, right? There is the biggest room and the room is for the improvement and the learning. So I have learned a lot of things from that particular experience, and somehow I got success in making them feel that yes, they are really the strong pillar of the organization. They have done a good job in the past, and of course, they are the they deserve the respect and the recognition, right? So that's how I tried my level best, and I got the success in around 40 days from my joining, 45 days from my joining, I got the success because these people, may feel jealous also at times. That is a negative connotation, but that is a normal human behavior also. Right? It comes with a negative connotation, but that's a normal human behavior also when a young fellow, recently passed out like 3 years of experience, has become the branch manager and he has got the cabin and all those stuff, right? So at times this is a normal human behavior, so nothing wrong in it. I have not taken that thing personally, and you need not to take anything personally, whatever is happening outside your outside inside, in your office, or nothing is in nothing you need not to take personally. People have got no time to think about you, right? So this is the hard fact. But yes, somehow I got the success in 45 odd days. And then after, we were a team. And when they were there in the team, my job is done because they were there to do all the jobs, right? They were very capable. And I was just looking at the things, right? And it was really fantastic tenure, right? So that's how it happens. I mean, you need to just understand, right? People. And this is the same situation which is here. Miss B has newly joined, right? And she is the what? She is the lead manager or something, right? If you see here in this case, she is the project manager, right? Or team lead or project manager, whatever it is. And Mr. A is senior developer. Now, senior developer, with the great experience, over a decade experience, must have got the hold on the company also and his work also, right? Without Mr. A, Miss B will never succeed. There's the same position, like without them, I was never able to, achieve my targets or the organization's target, right? Same situation. So I'm dependent on these people, those people. And Miss B is dependent on Mr. A. So let's see, if you talk about the solution part, I guess, let's talk about the solution. Solution says like, two, three things we were talking about. To address the dynamics of the individual behavior and improve organization performance at XYZ Corporation, the following solution can be proposed. First is implementing effective conflict resolution strategy, right? In that strategy, what you can do, you can have the training programs and you can have the mediation success sessions, right? So training programs like, effective communication for all the employee, and equip managers like Mr. C with the advanced conflict management skills to mediate the dispute effectively. That's one. Second, mediation sessions like, arrange the professional mediators to facilitate discussions. But what I generally feel that yes, this is the way out undoubtedly, but it takes a lot of time. Of course, you need to have the patience in this, right? So we'll talk about the implementation part also in this. But yes, this is the right way of doing the things. You need to have this kind of sessions also for, you know, for like Mr. A, Ms. B, you know. Then you talk about the promoting the collaborative culture. In that, what you can do, you can have the activities which are into the team building activities. Of course, when you talk about team building activities, this kind of thing comes from the psychology again. There you generally play such games or you give some projects and that ways where people will, get together and they start talking with each other, right? And until unless you talk with each other, there will always some doubts will remain in their mind. Understand this hello effect comes from this thing. You have never spoken with people and then you have got certain image in the mind because just because of the looks, right? So, or some activities which has done in the past, right? So you need to talk, right? And of course, this kind of team building activities will work, right? You talk about the cross-functional projects and interdepartmental projects, right? This thing will also work. You talk about the recognition program, right? Recognition is one of the very important stuff which you can talk about, implementing a recognition program to acknowledge and reward the employees, right? Um, you talk about the career development opportunities where you provide clear career progression path and professional development opportunities. So if you see, we are talking on the same lines, recognition, rewards, and the career development, right? We're talking about on the same lines. This is what it is, right? But it can only be done when you have the patience, when the manager has the patience, right? And the path is really clear. Thought process is really clear that what we are going to achieve after this, right? You talk about the encouraging the growth mindset where you can provide training on adaptability, like I have said in the previous videos, one of my previous video, that adaptability is the key, right? Without that, no manager will be the successful manager or no leader will be a successful leader, right? So adaptability is very, very important. That mindset has to be very, very important. Like if I have come from different place to the other different place, right, where I've been the, first time for the work, if I would have not been adaptive, probably I would have never been in that organization, or probably, I would have never been a successful manager that time, because without my team, I will not be able to achieve my target. That is for sure. So adaptability has to be there, though the person who is there in the organization is not supporting me, actually having negative, some negative feelings about me, or probably, some kind of jealousy is there, or whatever it is, negative connotation, right? But still, I knew that I need their support, and this is normal human tendency, right? So I need to show that maturity, right? As a manager, you need to show, as a leader, you need to have that maturity to understand this, right? So adaptability is very, very important. I need to adapt the new culture and the beliefs, right? And that is what I said, the, situational analysis you need to do first, that how people behave there, right? What kind of, environment is here. So I have spent good time in this, right? Though in 45 days, 45 days, I got the success, and these people were there in my team now, and they started supporting the things. But, day in, day out, I was there in this particular stuff when I joined the organization for, you say, like 2020. 5 odd days, right? 20 days around continuously. I was into this thing day in, day out, right? So you need to work hard, you need to be adaptive, and then you need to understand, right? So you need to have that mindset, that positive mindset, that people have got no personal agenda with you, right? People have got no personal agenda with you. You have met just first time. What personal agenda he or she could have with me, right? No agendas. So this is normal human tendency, right? So you need to understand the psychology. It is very, very important, right? Then you talk about the, highlighting the benefit of embracing new ideas, right? You talk about the membership programs, right? Membership programs like where experienced employee Mr. A and guide can guide newcomer Mr. Miss B. So you can say, buddy program kind of stuff you can have, or probably, for the mutual, respect and the knowledge sharing. So Mr. A can anyway guide because he is working in the organization since ages now. And Miss B is a newcomer, right? So buddy program kind of stuff, be there. We talk about the strengthening leadership practices, where leadership development program is important, right? Invest in leadership development program to help manager to adopt a balanced approach, right? That incorporates both the transformational and transactional leadership style, right? A feedback mechanism is again very, very important. Uh, Feedback mechanism, but yes, there is a caution I would like to talk about here. When you talk about feedback mechanism, it has to be unbiased, right? People don't want to give the feedback, right? Because in the organization, I have seen a lot of feedbacks I have also given, right? But people don't want to give the right feedback. Why? Because there is no it is not confidential. Why should I give you the feedback? I want to say something negative about you, or I want to give you like only 3 points out of 10, 10 being the highest. I just want to give you three stars in that. So why will I do that? Because somebody is my senior and he'll take it personally. Why will I make my life hell there in the organization, right? So feedback mechanism is important, but it has to be done in a very proper way. It has to be confidential, right? So implementing regular feedback mechanism, where employees can share their concern and suggestion with the management, and then after it has to get implemented also, right? You need to talk about it, right? Otherwise people will feel like that we have been dissed or something, like, so use this feedback to make informed decision and demonstrate the responsiveness also to employee needs, right? So this is basically the strategy where you are taking support of leadership programs, or you are taking support of the behavior of the people, uh, mindset of the, you are trying to change the mindset of the people and all those things. So how you are going to implement this thing, it takes time. As I said, it takes time. So, assessment and planning, of course, it will take like 1 to 2 months, if you couple of months, you can say. See, in my case, that was a small case because I was handling a very small team, right? And this is a big organization we are talking about as of now, right? So this is just very simple, one example, okay? One case we are talking about, and I have shared and my case, right? So there are two things together going on. But when you talk about the big organizations, of course, it takes time. You need to have the patience, right? So assessment and planning, that will like couple of months it will take. Conduct a comprehensive assessment of the current organization culture and individual behavior, right? First of all, it is very important when you're recruiting a people person, how, again, that time you can check these things. And that is the main reason. Probably I have highlighted this thing in the earlier some video also, where you need to have a panel in which you can have the psychologist also, right? Who will just read the body language and understand the insight about the candidate, right? And accordingly, then you can choose the candidate. Otherwise, you can reject also. That's not a problem. It's always good to reject the candidate instead of hiring the wrong one, because both the parties will be in losses if you hire the wrong one, organization in the losses, because that person will not stick to the organization for long, and after some time he'll leave. So organization is in loss, and that person is also in loss because he had left one organization where he was working since ages, and all of a sudden he has left that organization for your organization or for the new organization where he is unable to, where he is finding himself unfit, right, with the culture. Or so it is very important, right? Hiring process has to be very, very, uh, I would say procedural and systematic hiring process has to be there, right? So that at every point you can check the candidate, right? And please let them also know that, if we are taking you, why we are taking, if we are rejecting you, why we are rejecting you, right? And let them also know that what kind of culture you have in the organization so that they can also find it, they can also, check whether they will survive, they will be able to, they find themselves fit here in this organization or not. Both the things from both the sides, right? And then, if both the thing matches, if the organization goals and the candidate's goal and the organization culture and the candidate's thought process matches and in sync, nothing like it. I think after that there will not be any conflict in the future, right? So because you both are in sync, right? You talk about then training and development. Maybe you can take whatever time it would, 3 months to 6 months. Rollout training program on conflict resolution, communication, adaptability, and change management, and cross-functional projects also, right? You initiate that. You talk about the recognition and the career development. So it will take like 7 to 9 months, right? Month 7 to 9. You talk about the recognition and the career development. Recognition is important, and that is the main reason why nowadays almost every organization, once in a year, they normally go out and for some hangout or something where it normally happens at the financial year ending, where they also talk about the new year plan, and they also analyze what they have done in this financial year. So analysis of this year, future plans, and then the recognition and the rewards to the people who have done really good job in this particular year, right? So it's a kind of hangout, maybe for a daytime or 2 days time at times, and then all the expenses are borne by the organization, right? So it is like fun also for the people. And when you go out in such hangouts, or rather I would say meetings or hangouts, whatever way you want to take it, right? You can take it. But team building, of course, happens because people meet with different department people also. They stay together in the sharing room or in the same hotel, in the same premises, right? So of course they start talking about it. uh, so you need to understand this, right? uh, Recognition and career development. Then you talk about leadership enhancement. So implement the leadership, development programs and establish the feedback mechanism. Evaluate the effectiveness of the implemented solution and make necessary adjustments. Right. So you talk about this particular case, or in my case, almost these two cases are similar. So understanding and addressing the dynamics of an individual behavior within the organization is essential for fostering a positive and productive work environment, right? So by implementing effective conflict resolution strategies, promoting a collaborative culture, this thing can easily be done. Recognition and reward is very, very important. Like I had also used that thing, and companies will also should, and they are using it. They are anyway doing it every year. They are distributing the rewards and they are recognizing the good work, right? So that's how you can just overcome with this conflict. Doesn't matter whatever the age of the newcomer and the leader, and whatever the age of the team member who is there in the organization from past 5 7 years, right? It doesn't really matter because you are paying respect to your fellow colleague, and they are paying respect to you. So in that ways things happen, right? If I'll become, adamant and will start thinking about that I am the branch manager and I'm I have done this thing in the past and that was, really good, and that is how I got the promotion and all those things. This thing doesn't actually work, right? This thing actually doesn't work, right? They are also there in the organization since ages, right? They have done good job. And they are senior to you. In fact, if you talk about the age in the organization, age or tenure in the organization, they are senior. So when they are already there in the organization, I need to learn from them. It's very simple. So whenever, anywhere, if I go in any organization, new organization, there are already few people, there in the organization, in their working. So I need to learn from them. And I clearly say that I am here to learn from you. I'll learn, right? So what's wrong in that? Okay. And so automatically this is a mutual, respect kind of stuff, which is very important. And of course, recognition is important for the good work which the person has done. You need to do it, right? As a leader, it is your prime responsibility to identify the skills and the talents and recognize the good work, right? So that's how you can anyway, mitigate the impacts of the conflict. In fact, you can remove the conflict from the system and you can have a better team. And when the team spirit is there, of course, organization is going to grow. Undoubtedly, they are going to have the more, profitability in the market. So I hope this case study has helped you out in understanding the things which we had discussed in the past about the dynamics of the individual behavior. I would like you to please also apply these things whenever, if you at all you come across any kind of problem, doubt, please let me know. We can also discuss. I am always open to discuss this kind of stuff, right? I'll also share something from my industry experience also, right? So we'll talk about it. As of now, I'll just stop here. I'll come with another case study, which is based on the transactional analysis, which is one of my, very, very uh, favorite topic, I would say. And I'll also, tell you the case which I have told you just now of from my experience, right? My industry experience. I'll try to tell, I'll explain that how in that particular case I was able to get the, success because of TA. Transactional analysis has supported me so much, right? Of course, the other person was not knowing about it, that I am applying TA during the conversation, right? So it is important. So I'll come up with the one more video sometime, very soon, in fact, uh, to explain the case study, which is based on the transactional analysis, and I'll also explain my case there, relating it with the transaction analysis. All right, guys. So thank you so much. I'll stop sharing screen now and stop recording the video also. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, enjoy yourself and bye-bye. Take care.
Family is the genesis of this group.
Family is everything for us.
They know the nitty-gritty of what needs to be done.
We're each other's building blocks.
It has never been two families. It has always been one.
પરિવાર એ જ સર્વસ્વ છે.
Without family, I think we would lose my sense of direction. So the Marwari Group's foundation, I think, comes from the desire to prosper. Starting with Marwari Shares and Finance, the retail financial services business, and primarily into stock markets and stock broking segment in India. Essentially, we have 110 odd branches across Gujarat, Maharashtra, about 4 lakh customers or 400,000 customers. It's a business that's stood the test of time.
એટલે અમારા ફાધરના ટાઈમથી આવ્યું છે કે આપણે કોઈ પણની અપેક્ષા વગર કોઈને પણ સપોર્ટ કરવો કે એવું નહોતું એમ કે કોઈ પણ નીડ બેઝ હોય કે કાંઈ પણ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનમાં સ્ટાફ હોય એને આપણે ફેમિલીની જેમ જ ગણીએ છીએ, કોઈ દી સ્ટાફ તરીકે કે એવું ગણતા નથી એમ.
Then we talk about Marwari University, which was founded in 2009 by my father, and Jitubhai Chandarana as the co-founder of the Chandarana family.
We started as just 360 students with just 5 classes on ground. But at the same time, the vision was huge.
We are now at 11,000 students, and it's a 35-acre campus
અને એ બધું 100% વિઝન એનું જ છે અને આખું એન્ટાયર નેટવર્ક યુનિવર્સિટીનું એ જ જોવે છે.
Creating new generational students, helping them to do well in life, needs multidimensional approaches these days.
So that's how we started that let's do something for society and to give something which is missing in this country. So that's how we started setting up this university.
So Marwadi Chandarana Intermediaries and Brokers Private Limited. So that entity is in partnership with the Chandarana family, Jitubai Chandarana, Nishit Chandarana and Amish Chandarana. So that's about proprietary and algorithmic trading, where we've got about 1,500 plus traders directly, indirectly working with us.
ત્યારે મેં હંમેશા વિચાર્યું છે કે કોઈ પણ બિઝનેસથી એવી રીતે કરવો જોઈએ કે જે સ્કાય ઇઝ ધ લિમિટ હોવી જોઈએ. એમાં કંઈ લિમિટેશન હોવા જ ન જોઈએ. તમારી જેટલી કેપેસિટી વધે એટલું તમારે કામ આગળ ને આગળ તમારી પાસે હોવું જ જોઈએ.
So far what we are traditional broker with, of course, a pinch of all the new age technology available in our business.
Well, I am a hardcore trader. I am always on the screen. I used to hear the talks about markets, business on the dinner table. So it was always fascinating about joining stock markets at an early age. So that's how I joined them, my father and my brother.
Business and the partnership is just based on trust.
It's not just one person who is going to achieve success. It's all of us together who are going to reach our goal and achieve success.
Most recent business we've entered is Pixin Energy. We've entered energy as a sector and power as a sector.
We have around 200 people now, and one question, when we ask, why do you want to join Pixin? They have, this one standard answer that it's a group, it's a part of the Marwadi family, and that's why we want to join.
That belongingness, that ownership should come if you treat them like your family members.
The most recent business and the latest one is One Finance, which I founded. One Finance is essentially a reimagined personal finance institution.
We started with building it on multiple values and all that, but we just wanted that one word that can define that why do we exist. And then finally we realized that just by being honest, everything else falls in line,
So we offer unbiased, qualified and hyper-personalized advice on one's personal finances.
We have always believed in, building up the relationship with clients and our authorized partners who are, pillars for our success, I would say.
If you don't have people whom you share your success or prosperity, then it has no relevance on its own. So Believe family is an effort. As united, we achieve something. And we all three brothers, told our father, no, we will not take this risk. But he said, no, I'm going ahead with it, whether you join us or not. And that's how we are today where we are. So it was his courage, his entrepreneurship, and his ability to see future. I think that's what made us today what we are.
યંગર જનરેશન પાસેથી તો ઘણું શીખવા મળ્યું છે જે અમને અત્યારે નવું જે યંગર જનરેશન ડેવલપ કરે છે સારી ભાવનાથી સારી રીતે.
They are carrying the legacy forward, and I'm very proud to know that and to share even that. I mean, it's a very proud thing for us.
દરેક વસ્તુઓ છે એ પેરેન્ટ્સે પણ સમજવી પડે કે તમે એને એની રીતે કરવાની છૂટ આપો. એના અત્યારના જનરેશન પ્રમાણે એને આગળ વધવા દો.
They have an open mind to take it to the next level and exploring other ways, the ways that may not have worked for them.
Like every generation learns from new generation. Like what my father couldn't do, we did it. What we don't understand, they are doing it.
I think the Marwadi Chandarana group represents and lives purpose. It represents and lives impact. It represents and lives creating sustainable long-term businesses and organizations. And Marwadi Chandarana group represents taking risks where it matters, not just for themselves but those who we impact directly and indirectly, right? So we employ about 4,500 people across all organizations. We've got about 5 lakh customers, students, so on and so forth. We've designed the business model in a way where the customer and the people's interest, directly or indirectly, is at the heart of our business. So we're a people-centric company. We're not a customer-centric or an employee-centric company. Without our values, Marwari and Marwari Chandarana Group won't be where it is today.